Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Monarch Synchro here, bringing you Deck of the Month for October. Um, I wanted to start off the video by giving some shoutouts to some friends of mine. First one to C-Truck7, go subscribe to him if you already haven't. Also to Genix Kid XX, XX Genix Kid XX. Um, Go subscribe to him as well, pretty cool guy. They all work at Frank's. Also to Paz Joker, Pierre, he's also a good friend of mine. Yeah, guys, I want to show you this new deck that I've been working on. I think it's a really good deck. It's very competitive, and it'll only get more support, making it more broken in the later sets. So yeah, without further ado, I present my deck is I call it Scrap Control. So here you go. You run three Scrap Beasts. These are pretty much your level 4 tuners. Whenever they get destroyed by a scrap effect, um, by the effect of a scrap card, you get to add a scrap monster from your deck to your from your not from your graveyard to your hand. So you can get back a scrap goblin, scrap refrigerator, or a scrap chimera. Um, this card is really good because you can use it with a summoner monk, so you can make level 8s faster, and not to mention with chimera you can make a scrap dragon really fast. So it's a must, and you must run it in 3. Also, the same thing with the scrap goblins. They do the exact same thing as the scrap beasts, but they're your level 3 tuners. You use them to make scrap archfiend, and yeah, the main engine, pretty much the thing that gets you going. There's your scrap chimeras, pretty much broken card, gets you an instant scrap archfiend, which is a beater, and also a dragon, which is also a beater, and it helps you keep control. So chimeras must be run at 3. Next one is the scrap golem. Pretty much, I call him refrigerator because that's what he looks. Obviously, that's what he looks like. But it's called scrap golem, and this card is really broken because it allows you to special summon a scrap monster on either side of the field. So like, let's say your opponent is really low on life, and they have a beater. What you can do is swarm the field somehow and special summon this on their side of the field in attack mode. The goblin cannot be destroyed by battle, and it has 0 attack. So what you can do is attack it with all your monsters into the scrap goblin and pretty much just beat your opponent down like that. Like, that's such a sick combo, and your opponent's gonna be like, what the hell. But other than that, this pretty much special summons you the goblin, and you can synchro into a level 8, and it can be any level 8, which is broken because you can make Stardust, you can make Red Dragon, Colossal, whatever you need, but mostly you want to go for obviously the Scrap Dragon. And yeah, pretty broken card. Not to mention you can get it back with a Scrap Dragon, and just do all the shenanigans next turn. That was the Scrap engine. This is gonna be my non-scrap engine, the engine that pretty much keeps it in check and that allows it to flow pretty consistently, I think. I run 2 Cyber Dragons because this is a very good second turn play. Not to mention that obviously it lures out bottomlesses, but like if you special summon it and they have no response to it, you can sacrifice it for a golem and then activate golem's effect. Or you can just special summon this. If they don't bottomless it, you summon your chimera. Well, if they do bottomless it, you can summon your chimera and do all these other things. But if they don't, you can summon a goblin and synchro for 8, which is pretty broken in my opinion. So it's very good beater. I run 2 Thunder Kings because there's only 4 cards that contradict with this card in my deck, but the Scrap Goblins and the Scrap Beasts do not affect it because it's from the graveyard to the hand, not the deck to the hand. So this is a good one turn play, first turn play, because it forces your opponent to waste removal on this, and that leaves the doors open for you to just do everything else with your Scrap Engine. I run 2 Snowman Eaters in this build. This card is just ridiculous right now. The fact that it can kill 19 beaters like Gemini, Neos, whatever, uh, it kills obviously the Thunder Kings, and it most of the time survives. So what you can do is after it kills a monster, you just sacrifice it for a golem, or you can just leave it on the field, summon a goblin, and synchro for 6. So it's such a good card. It lets me hit level 6s really fast in this deck because if it wasn't for this, you can't really hit level 6s in this deck. But yeah, this card is really good right now. I run 1 Spirit Reaper because it stalls. It's a +1 when it attacks directly. It forces removal really fast on it, and it just sits there. And then whenever you don't want it, you just sacrifice it for a golem or summon a goblin and synchro for 6. It's another card that lets me synchro for 6. And Spirit Boost is just one of my favorite cards, to be honest. So that's why I run it almost every single deck that I run now. And one Summoner Monk, because Summoner Monk can get you faster to your level 4s. You never know when you're gonna need a Scrap Beast to go into a level 8 really fast, or even a Thunder King for that matter, just to like stop them from searching or whatever. If you hit like a Dark Soul, so it's a pretty good card in general, and it's good just to speed up the deck. Onto the magic cards, you run triple Book of Moon. It's your massive protection. It stops. It's your only answer to Trap Stun right now, so you must run it in 3s. I run 2 Scrap Storms. I don't think 3 is necessary, to be honest. Even though this card is technically a -1, if you destroy a goblin or a beast, then it turns into a 2 for 2, and it speeds up your deck by 2 because you get to Foolish Burial a card, a scrap monster, and you get to draw a card. So it speeds up your deck by 2, which is really good, and it makes it so that Chimera is really fast. 2 Scrap Yards. This card is what pretty much makes scraps really playable right now, and the fact that it speeds up the deck, and not only that, it's so good when you can special summon Cyber Dragon, activate this, grab a goblin, and just summon it and synchro for 8 really fast, and then just do whatever you can. So Scrapyard is really good. I run 2 Pot of Duality because it's really important to be able to get into your, just pretty much speed up your deck. And first turn, seeing this card is really good because you're obviously not gonna special summon anything first turn, and you really want to just speed up your deck and be able to get those monsters really fast. Get a Chimera, and then or maybe a Scrapyard or something to keep the engine going. So Pot of Duality is pretty good. 2 MSTs because you don't want to see back row stopping you, especially Oppression. The deck does get stopped by Oppression, so you don't want it. You don't want to see that card. MST stops that. The staples, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Giant Trunate, in my opinion, are all staple this format, so you need to run them. And 1 Mind Control because you do run obviously 6 tuners, and it's pretty good. So that was 15 Magic and Trap. I run a lot of Magic and Trap, and then again that's why I run Summoner Monk. And 19 monsters. That was 19 monsters. And for the traps, I only run 7, I believe. It's 2 bottomless trap holes because they're staple in my opinion. Torrential, Mirror Force, Solemn, and Solemn Warning. Obviously 1 is staple. You can run 2 or 3, but I just like 1. And 1 trap stun just to stop your opponent from doing anything. Just to, like, if you don't have an MST, just get rid of their Solemn Warning. Just activate trap stun and force them to have a Book of Moon to try to stop you from synchroing. And if they don't, then you just go for a Scrap Dragon and then start popping their back row. So yeah, that was 7 traps. The main deck is a total of 41, but technically the deck is like a 33 card deck because of all the cards that speed it up: Pot of Duality, Scrapyard, Summoner Monk, and the Scrap Storms. But yeah, so that's the main deck, guys. Just quickly to the synchros, an extra deck. I run 2 Chimera because obviously you run 2 Cyber Dragons in the main. 1 Catastra, 1 Android. It's not that easy to hit them, but you can always rewarn stuff from the graveyard, from your opponent's graveyard, and try to synchro with it. 1 Goyo because obviously it's staple. Double Stardust because you can hit it really fast with Summoner Monk, and Scrap Golem with Goblin. So you need to run 2, and pretty much having a Stardust and a Scrap Dragon on the field is pretty much GG after that. Protected by back row, it's just impossible for them to get over that. 1 Colossal, 1 Black Rose because you can make it, 1 Bryonic, and this is your Scrap Engine, 2 Archfiends, and 3 Scrap Dragons. So yeah, guys, that's the deck of the month for October. Hope you guys like it. Comment, rate, subscribe, and let me know of any ideas that you guys might have to make the deck better. So yeah, go subscribe to the people that I told you, and talk to you guys later.